Jamal Lascelles, Carl Darlow, and you're watching Newcastle Fans TV.
Hello Newcastle Fans TV and welcome to the preview. Whiteboard behind me, it is preview day, the second part of the preview. If you haven't seen yesterday's preview, go back and have a look at it. So we're going to be looking at the tactics of what I think Derby and Nigel Pearson might come up with. Newcastle coming up in a second, of course. So this is the lineup. Apologise about the lighting again. It's starting to go dark, as you can see. I'm trying to keep as much light in because it is approaching 7 o'clock. So let's have a look at the Derby lineup and where can they hurt with and what I think they could play with. Now, I don't watch Derby through and through. I've seen them a few times, but this is, I think, how they'll set up. So the back five, I think, almost picked themselves, unless Anya will play here. So looking at that, it's quite as strong. You've got, obviously, Christie's an Irish international, Keogh an Irish international, Shackle, former Burnley player, Olsen, who's the brother of Martin Olsen from Norwich. Bradley Johnson's back fit for this game as well, so he'll come back in midfield. Now, there's a circle around Lee Hughes. Will Hughes play because he obviously took a knock in the face in the England under-21s. I think Anya, if Nigel Pearson goes for Anya on the left, real threat. We'll come on to him in a minute. Tommins, another real massive threat on the right-hand side as well. I think you'll go with Russell, and I think you'll actually go for Vidra up front this time around because obviously they don't have Chris Martin. But where can they hurt with? Well, I think Derby, they like to have their full-backs bomb on, okay? So they like to have the full-backs, that's both of them. Christie's really good at that on the other side, on the right-hand side. He's impressed me a lot lately. Now, Bradley Johnson, we've seen him play for Norwich in the past and Leeds as well. He'll sit there, he's a very physical presence. He'll just try and pick up loose balls in around amongst the area for Johnson. Hughes, if he does play, he's more the creative player. He's been tipped to go further in his career, but obviously his injuries has halted him last season. Hughes is he's got a great left foot on him. He'll be playing at nights and neat balls. He's good at getting forward as well. But this man, the Scottish international, doesn't look very Scottish, does he? Yes, I know. So Anya, I feel like, has he lost his place at Watford? I think that was a bit unjustified. I think he's a real threat. He can play left back. So you might say Anya play left back in this game. Anya will literally just run for England. He'll get down the bylines. He'll get back as well. He'll track back. He's a little workaholic. He's nippy as well. So I think DeAndre Yedlin will come up against him. So Yedlin, pace for pace. It'll be interesting to see on that side. Looking at the other side, I feel this is their threat. I wanted Newcastle to sign him in the transfer window. Tommins, for me, is their massive threat, I feel. Tommins, we know he scores goals for fun at this level. He's done it all over. He's been at Blackpool. Didn't have a really great spell at Palace, but he scores plenty of goals at Derby when he's on loan, and then they bought him. So Tommins, we know that he's going to cut in. He's got one hell of a left foot. He'll have a pop a goal as well. So you've just got to be careful with that left foot. Whoever plays left back, whether it's Ashraf Lazar or Paul Dummett, they're in for a torrid time, I feel, against Paul Dummett. But they kept Anthony Knockout quiet because I feel like Gouffran coming back helping stop Knockout last game, so it could be key again that they double up again. But Tommins is definitely where Derby will want to get the ball to Tommins because he can produce a bit of magic. Vidra, their new signing, roughly about 8 million, 8.5 million. He scores goals for this fund, so he will pick up the ball in around. I was going to draw a box. So he'll pick up in and around, that's meant to be a penalty spot. So he'll pick up in around the box. So he'll have crosses coming into him. And this is Vidra. Hello, my little man here. He'll be picking it up. And obviously if he gets fed crosses, but he's also quick. He can turn you as well. He can spin round to the defender as well. So I think the likes of Jamal Lascelles and Chancellor Member just need to be very careful. Derby are going to have a lot of the ball. You've got to remember this. This is the passing football team. Brighton as well had a lot of the ball against us, but obviously their 10-man kind of messed it up as well. So they've also got a bit of threat from the bench because they've obviously got James Wilson, the new loan signing from Man United. They've got Darren Bent who'll come on. They've got Butterfield that can come on. They've got Kamara. So they do have some options on the bench. We've just got to be careful because they've got substitutes who could potentially make a difference as well. Let's head over to Newcastle. So, and I'll answer the questions, why do I have these certain people in? So I think you'll go with Matt Sells. And I think Mbemba and Lascelles, I think those three literally pick themselves week in, week out, as meant to say. Over on the other side, if we look at this now, if we look at DeAndre Yedlin, I've gone for Yedlin, but it wouldn't be surprised me because Yedlin's obviously travelled quite a few distance. He's played 2 USA games this week and he's travelled halfway around the world just to play, So he might not make it just because of the fact of international duty. So you might see Anita come in here. So don't be too surprised. On the left side, I want to see Ashraf Lazar, but I've got the funny feeling that Rafael going for Paul Dummett now away from home because Dummett's he's better at away games than at home. because but I want to say Lazar because he'll be better going attacking. Gouffran, I think Gouffran will actually keep his place. I don't think Christian Atsu will make the start lineup. I'd be very surprised if Atsu starts. I think Gouffran, because he's put in a graft last game, as I've already mentioned, against keeping knockout quiet last game. Shelvey and Hayden, I think these two guys pick themselves. Switch over here, Matt Ritchie picks himself because he's been outstanding so far this season. He's started off really well. Diarmi, I think he'll go for Diarmi, and I don't think he'll play Mitrovic. I really didn't. I think he'll go for Diarmi and pack the midfield into 3, and then I think he'll bring Dwight Gale in, leave Mitrovic on the bench with Murphy and Gouffran, obviously I've mentioned, on the left. That's what I think, but I could be wrong, you know. I've got most of the stuff right this season, but we'll have a look at now. Where can we hurt Derby? So first of all, I feel that if this boy plays, he'll give him an attacking force, because if Paul Dummett plays, he'll just sit there, he'll just ping it. So the thing is with Paul Dummett, as soon as he gets a ball up to about this mark, he passes it. He doesn't bomb on, he doesn't run where Lazar has pace. He'll run and get forward. I think also, if you look at obviously who's up against Tom Ince as well, I think Gouffran in particular, coming backwards, he'll work hard, and that might isolate Tom Ince. I think that's a key that Newcastle defensively need to look at. I think looking at the central midfielders, if we look over here, I think Hayden will do what he does. He just picks up loose ends and just doesn't be flash. You just pass it away. You'll give it away. Give it to other player, sorry. But the thing I like about Hayden, if need to be, he can get forward. He's better at going forward than Chioti and Colback as well, which is interesting about Czech Chioti. I don't think Chioti will come into the side. Shelvey, as we know what he did. He put a man in the match performance for me. A lot of people give him man in the match. He just needs to keep his form going. Last game against Brighton, he was none of this. It was none of that. He did a couple, but he was just simple. It was just pure simple. And he obviously went past a couple of players as well. So more of that, please, Shelvey. We want to see more of that. Just going to go back to the right-hand side on the right wing. I'll switch over here. Because I do feel that if Yedlin comes in, Yedlin has responsibility. He's great going forward. I feel if Anita comes in, I don't think Anita will get us forward as much because we're playing away from home. I think Matt Ritchie, again, similar to Gouffran on the other side, will obviously go that way defending, but he'll also come in as well. And as we've already mentioned a couple of times now, Matt Ritchie can come in as well as going down the byline as well. So I've been really, really impressed with him. Now, this man, Mo Diarmi. Right, I think this is key. If Mo Diarmi does play, the reason why I think Rafa will go with 3 in midfield, as him as the most attacking forward, is I just feel that away from home, Derby will be keeping a lot of the ball. So I feel that Rafa might go for the 3 midfield, Diarmi just to come back and sit in the central midfield when we don't have the ball. But when we have the ball, Diarmi needs to be up for it, because he's kind of like a hit and miss player. Against a couple of teams, in particular his Huddersfield debut was awful. Picked up a little bit against Bristol. Reading, he was outstanding. We just need to see it away from home now. So he's going past players. He was putting that out wide. He's going forward. He's driving forward. I think, again, going away from home, this man's going to need service, and that's going to come from literally Shelvey, Gouffran, Diarmi and Ritchie. Now, but I could be completely wrong. He might just mix it all up, and he might play Mitrovic there and drop Gale. It's Rafa. It's so difficult, especially with new signings, because we've got Atsu and Murphy sitting on the bench, I feel. And Lazar might not even play, you know, so it's difficult to predict the lineups on both teams, really, with both sides having a lot of new signings as well. So what we're going to do is who's going to hurt Derby the most. I do feel that it's this man. I was going to get another pen there, but I do feel that Shelvey is the key in this game. I really do, because I think that the wingers are very, very similar on both sides. Both Newcastle and Derby are quite strong in the wingers position. But if he can get the ball to Gale, I think we'll win the game. But I'm not going to go for a win. I'm going to go for a score draw. Let me know what you think of your comments down there below of the tactics. How do we need to set up? Is it 4-5-1, 4-2-1-1-1, or is it 4-3-3? Score predictions as well. Right, I'm going to love yous and leave yous. I've been Lee on behalf of Newcastle Fans TV. See you later.